In coaching, we realize people aren't broken. They're just stuck and need support to move forward.
Particularly women who are juggling family life and ministry life just feel overwhelmed. I like to call it a lot of tabs open. How do we close some of those tabs, or how do we build systems and routines so we don't even have to open the tab?
Society asks women to overfunction in order to just be at baseline.
Every place I go, I thought it's my job to take care of everybody around me, to do all of the heavy lifting, and to not really pay much attention to myself, to put my needs secondary.
Welcome to Created Creative. I'm Dawn.
And I'm Ruth. And it is 2026, Dawn.
It's crazy.
Yeah, 2026.
Tomorrow is Epiphany.
Yes.
Do you have any new insights for Epiphany?
I have my star word.
What is it?
I know what my star word is.
Is that okay, or is it bad luck, like telling what your wish was when you blow out a candle your birthday?
I haven't heard that it's bad luck, because this is the one I'm settled on. It is yes.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that a good one?
Are you going to
Yes.
write Shonda Rhimes' The Year of Yes?
Yeah, I loved that book. I did read that book.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's what it's going to be.
Okay,
Teen.
so your year is yes, and you've said yes to doing a really hard thing because you're
Yes.
hiking in New Zealand.
Yeah, when this airs, hopefully I'll be somewhere on the southern island of New Zealand, probably wading through mud up to my knees.
I just don't understand. I see you're a real person who chose this, and also there's nothing in me that would choose it.
Yeah, and maybe by the time I get back, I will be on the same page as you.
Or you'll be like, I did this great thing, and I'm like, oh, how good for you. Like, it's something you could be proud of.
Yeah, a lot of things that sound fun and that maybe don't make sense to other people, but I am
Totally.
excited about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay, any epiphanies then? Just yes.
yes, I'm going to see where that takes me. The word yes.
Do you think it'll cause you to overfunction?
Yeah, I don't want it to lead to overfunctioning. I want it to lead to more saying yes to the things that maybe I've been scared to do, not to the things that I don't want to should myself to death of,
Right.
on other people's agendas I want to do. So,
You're saying yes to you, not yes to everyone else.
yeah, yes. But overfunctioning is real. Boy, that's something that we've heard a lot about, I think, in the last few weeks.
In fact,
Yeah.
thank you for saying that, because we have 3 more people from Discern by Doing for Business serving people who are overfunctioning in various
Mhm.
ways. Society asks women to overfunction in order to just be at baseline.
Yep. That's how so many women, I think, at least in our generation and older, found a lot of our value, is overfunctioning and being nice and being kind. And it is not serving us well.
No.
We're learning to think more about what we actually need rather than just what everyone around us needs. That takes some help, though. And so I'm glad that there's these people, these wonderful businesses to help coach people to think about what their goals actually are.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with
Yeah.
welcome.
Would you take a moment and introduce yourself to our listeners?
Absolutely. My name is Michelle Pavasars, and I live in the Southern California area, not too far from Disneyland. I'm a wife, a mom. I'm a director of Christian education and serve at a congregation in Brea, California. And I also have a coaching business focused on this idea of calm spaces, calm life.
So tell us the origin stories of this coaching business that we worked
I
on.
actually was introduced to the concept of coaching in 2008, 2009 as part of a Christian leadership training with an organization called Kindle. And that's where it really caught my heart and my mind. And I was like, wow, this is such a great life skill, particularly in ministry, to be able to coach others instead of always being the person who tells them what to do.
Yes.
So then I pursued additional coach training, and I use a lot of coaching skills when I served as executive director of Kindle. And honestly, it's super powerful with teenagers and young adults, which I have 2 now young adults. I have a 19-year-old son and a 23-year-old daughter, and coaching skills are beautiful for that stage.
Yeah.
What I'm really focused on now in my coaching business is this idea of calm spaces, calm life. And thinking back on how that's played out in my own life, I realize I've been somebody who has been creating spaces, environments, organizing things, developing those skills since I was a kid. I love to reorganize my room periodically or set up things for my friends and do those sorts of things that they were just fun to me and it was easy to me. And it just continued to grow through my life. For for that to be part of it. And then in a fluke, it's really, in this sense, a fun opportunity to be on this podcast on Creative, because I started listening to the two of you early on because Dawn and I went to the same college and all three of us have a youth encounter background. And I remember some question that you guys asked, I don't remember what episode it was from, got me thinking about how am I creative? Because I'm not necessarily a writer, although I do journal a lot, and I'm not artistic in certain ways. And it came up in a Bible study that I was doing with a group of friends. I realized that one of my creative gifts is actually kind of creating spaces for people where they can use their gifts. So in my leadership opportunities, a lot of times that looks like I would have people say, wow, you run a really great meeting. Everything is so organized. I know when I come to a meeting that's run by you, we're not going to waste our time. We're going to know what we need to do afterwards, and everybody's got a voice at the table. Or creating spaces in youth ministry, which is, I'm back into that now, where it's just about how can I have other people in that space so that every kid that's there has somebody that they can connect with, because I can't connect with every kid, especially if I'm the leader and running the event. Just over and over again, volunteers at church saying, oh, Michelle's asking me to do this. I'll totally be on the VBS team because she's organized. We know we'll have our supplies. We know we'll be appreciated. And
Very cool.
I'm not like some of your guests who are writing or producing, or I don't know, you guys have had things about people who do art and all that, but I create spaces. I use my skills of organization and systems to create spaces that allow other people to use their gifts. So now I'm really trying to bring those two ideas together. So how can I coach other people to do the same thing in their life so that they have spaces that work for them?
That's so valuing of the people. When you're organized, you're saying, I love that you are giving your gifts to VBS.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you're successful and that you get to do the part you're good at with the 5-year-olds.
Yeah. It's really being respectful of other people and their time and their energy. I love that. That's really beautiful.
I don't think we've had anyone on this podcast really talk about how the act of creating space is a ministry.
Yeah. So like VBS, it was a real aha moment for me when I had this sort of sense of the kids will always have a great time at VBS.
No matter what you do.
Like what's not to love as a kid about VBS? It's
Right.
energy, you play games, you see songs, they tell the Bible stories in the most creative way ever. You're with your friends, you eat crazy snacks to be an all-out kid for like 2.5, 3 hours and then go home. If the volunteers don't have a good time, they don't come back next year. That was like, how can I build that environment for those volunteers so that they love it so much that the next year they want?
Because
VBS
it's so
ministry.
well run.
Home,
great.
one of the things I guess I would use as a family home life example, really saying family dinners is a priority for us, and how can I make that happen? And it looked different in different seasons, right? Like certainly when my kids were younger and there were a lot of activities like, okay, we're going to eat dinner at 5 because sister has show choir practice at 7 and we got to get out the door. Okay, tonight we're eating at 6:30 because brother has soccer practice. Now one's at college and one's at grad school. Like they discovered how rare that is. So many of their peers did not grow up with family dinners. And that's something they look forward to when they come home, is just being at the table. We really had conversations. And honestly, Dawn, even when my son was about your daughter's age, we were at a Lenten dinner at church, which you all are familiar with. I remember we like prayed and we sat down, and this older woman was sitting at our table. We had invited her to sit with us. And after we prayed, he turned to her and he said, so how was your day? And she just looked at me like, you know, but that was the culture of our family. And it's so not easy. So many demands on parents and the schedules of kids and stuff. So only by like regular figuring out what worked for me and my family, being organized around that, being willing to change. It's not once and done. I mapped it together when my daughter went into first grade and we never changed it. Practicing those things, a calm life for all of us.
And safety, a belonging, a comfort, like all these things that we believe in are happening through being organized with your space.
How would you say that the Discern by Doing course has been helpful to you as you've been building this business?
So I jumped in last minute back in August, and part of that is because I just became an empty nester, and I was like, okay, not just what am I going to do with my time? I could certainly fill my time, but I've dabbled in having a coaching business on and off the last, 8-9 years, and I thought I really want to give this a go. And obviously I need some support in figuring that out. So I really feel like the Discern by Doing business class kind of gives 3 things there. Like the content that Dawn has provided has been so helpful for me as somebody who's trying to get a business up and running. Like just, I got to do something with marketing. And
What is that?
What is that? And it's like, it scares me, right? Dawn, you've made it be like, it's telling your story and then figuring out whose needs match and don't match that story. Like just helping me work through a lot of those mindsets. So the content and really practical things about what do you already have in place? What do you need to get in place? You brought in some different outside folks who have given me insight in other areas as well. But a huge part of it is the accountability. The fact that I go to our small cohort, we meet weekly, and it's like, what have you done since last week that is actually working on your business and moving it forward? Not, oh, I went down the rabbit hole of this for like 2 hours.
Right.
That doesn't actually move my business forward unless I
Right.
take some action. So that accountability has been super helpful to me, kind of holds my proverbial feet to the fire to make progress. Like I actually now have a website and a way to schedule. And just in the last week, I've had 2 more people use the scheduler. So that's just been really
Awesome.
powerful to put those tools in place. So that's the content plus the accountability of making that happen. And then the third big part is the community, like getting together with that cohort each week with people who are in totally different stages with their business, but we're all working on this side business that we want to see grow and flourish because we want to serve other people in whatever different way that might be. So I love that community. It's so encouraging. And because we're all in different stages, I'm learning things from people who are ahead of me in the process. And I'm hopefully able to serve as an encourager for folks who are maybe I'm just a tiny bit ahead of them because I've done something that they haven't done. I love all those pieces of the course, I guess you would call it, but it's really a community more than just a course.
So content, accountability, community.
Absolutely.
You're writing my website.
Yeah.
So that's how my brain organized it.
So what kind of people should find Discern by doing?
I think people, particularly, it's a community of people who are either in ministry or ministry minded people. So there's the sense of they're already maybe out there serving people, but they have this either side dream or kind of side skill. Hustle feels so like people use that all the time. I don't know if it's a hustle necessarily. It could be at
Right.
times, but
Right.
something that they really want to lean into, but it's not necessarily, hey, this is going to become my number one breadwinner thing. This is maybe a creative outlet, or this is another way to help and serve people, but they do want it to be a business. It's something that they're offering in a way that it provides also them some support for what they're doing in their life. And that could be extras is what I kind of feel like it's a little bit for me. Things that we would like to have in our family life or places that we would like to be generous with others. It provides that extra. But even for me, I envision as being like, I could see myself coaching until I'm 80, right? I don't
It's
necessarily want to be running youth group. Not even necessarily. I absolutely do not want to be in youth group when I'm 80. I want to be the cute senior citizen that prays for the kids and,
Yes.
you know,
And
brings
you have
them
a pen
cookies
pal.
or something.
Yeah.
Like it could be something that becomes more like that for people. So people who want to move forward, and then, again, their business could be like more of a dream and the group that gets you moving in the right direction, or it's already going. Like Ruth, you're into your consecrate business and you're there to just move to a next level. So people who are looking for some of the skills, but maybe aren't in a season of needing a little bit more accountability and how they grow with their business.
Yeah,
right
a lot
now.
of us know we could trade a service for some money, but to put the structures in place to have it be a business that you could scale up if you wanted. Like it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. And I love, Dawn, that you're not afraid to challenge us in the group. I can have these mindsets of, oh, I shouldn't charge too much, or I couldn't market that much. I'd be bothering people. I don't know. There's a real opportunity. And you're not afraid to challenge us and say, hey, this is a business that you're doing. And this is how business works. And particularly since most of us are ministry connected, we're very accustomed to that, serving people as just part of how we do our other job. And so just having that mindset shift, and I appreciate that.
Good.
My 90-day goal was to get that website up and running, and I think we still have 30 days left. And it's because you challenged me in one of our calls. Could this happen today? And it didn't happen that day, but it happened the next day. Like it happened within 24 hours, like that little bit of push and nudge. And I think it's been helpful.
And that is the kind of thing people will spend half a year going, oh, I should make a website.
Yeah.
I have that, and I have a scheduler, but I invested a little bit there. Like I'm just even talking about my coaching more and offering that to people more directly, and people are responding. It's like I knew the need was there, but I had no way to connect people with the need to what I was doing. So
And now you're doing. Awesome. So what kind of people would benefit from your coaching?
I think a lot of particularly women in ministry who are juggling family life and ministry life just feel overwhelmed. And that could be all sorts of spaces. It could be their office. It could be in their home. It could be more like their calendar, like it's just busting at the seams. Or honestly, it could even just be more internally. I like to call it a lot of tabs open, just all those different things. And how do we close some of those tabs? Or how do we build systems and routines so we don't even have to open the tab? Or how do we make meal planning better? Or even just going through the mail or decluttering or organizing, or how the running is of those things. And I guess because I'm an organization systems person myself, that I can see those kind of organization systems maybe more easily than somebody else, and particularly when you're overwhelmed. And I also know that there's a lot of things out there that sell you just do X, be Marie Kondo, or be whatever, find this on Instagram and copy that and everything will be perfect. And I've tried some of those. And probably most people have. And then when they fail, they're frustrated. So now they're overwhelmed by the mix of ministry and family life. And they're frustrated by systems that they've tried that don't work for them. And I think that's where what I bring with coaching, my own ministry, family life experiences, and my organizational skills comes together. Because if Ruth were to come to me as a client, I'm not going to say, hey, try this system. I'm going to say, hey, let's explore what you're really looking for out of that and how you can build that in a way that really works for you. And so that kind of unique blend of you building something that works for you and your life with your family, your ministry demands, and figuring that out together. People who I guess are just, a lot of times it's women in ministry who just want more calm space, a calmer life, and the ability to do that through some coaching and some system building is what I offer.
I love it.
And a lot of times people think, oh, you're an organization person, you must be a minimalist in a very strict kind of stark sense. And somewhere along the line, I read something about a cozy minimalist, and I feel like that more accurately describes me, because I'm not, if you were to be like, oh, I don't want Michelle to be my coach, she's going to make me throw away all my stuff. I'm going to be like, I'm not going to make you throw away all your stuff, but let's figure out what's overwhelming you of your stuff, what's serving you of your stuff, and how it can be better. I want you to have the calm life and calm spaces that work for you. And I think that's the unique part about being a coach around this versus being someone with a program for you to follow.
Yay.
Thank you so much. This was great.
And now here's Jodi.
It's good to see you.
Jodi, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. It's so good to be here with you.
Thank you for taking time to talk to us today. Would you take a moment to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Sure. My name is Jodi Golden Lund, and I am a pastor in California. I serve a congregation, Trinity Lutheran Church in Porterville, and I also do coaching and lots of other things.
Awesome. And you first came into our world because you were part of Ruth's Consecrate, right?
I've been getting the Consecrate box from the beginning.
Yeah, Jodi is very special to me because from the very start, she's been a subscriber, and she went on both of the Consecrate trips.
When you bond more with somebody who goes on a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
It was very cool. Like when I finally met you in person, I felt like I knew you already because I'd been seeing your name every month for years.
Yeah, we had this deep connection already.
Through gift giving.
It's so nice to have you here with us today. Jodi, we wanted to have you come on the show today because you have been part of the Discern by Doing for Business group that Dawn leads.
We would love to hear your origin story. What compelled you to have this coaching business?
As we've been talking in our group, I had some pretty traumatic things happen during my childhood. And with that, I saw it as my job to take care of everybody around me, to take responsibility for everybody in my family, to help my mom out, really to make things easier for everybody around me. And so I've carried that throughout my life. Every place I go, I thought it's my job to take care of everybody around me, to do all of the heavy lifting, and to not really pay much attention to myself, to put my needs secondary. I now work in a church, and I've been there for almost 25 years. And churches, a lot of times, will really be open to letting people take extra responsibility, do extra work, all of the things. But I just slowly awakened to the fact that I don't need to do that everybody around me is gifted. And I can allow them to use their gifts, but also have my needs met as well. And I want through my coaching with other people who are in that same place I was, where taking care of everybody else, taking extra responsibility, putting themselves last so they can come into another way of being.
And what is that other way of being? What do you deliver to people?
They can see themselves as being beloved. And also through these coaching relationships, you get a sense of community. You get a sense that you're not alone, that other people are experiencing this. And other people have walked through it and come to just another way of being.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. We had talked a little about that classic Bible story of Mary and Martha, and Martha's doing work and not paying attention to herself. And I'm wondering, and you are probably getting these background stories of all the Marthas. When it becomes an unhealthy level of serving everyone, there probably was kind of superhero origin story.
How has the Discern by Doing for Business program helped you as you've been developing your business?
It has helped me to understand what my story is. So I'm not just trying to be a coach to everyone, because really we can't do that. We can't have everything for everyone, but to really know who I am and who I can serve best. I feel like also being in a group, there's other people who are in similar paths, so we can support each other. We can have that community. And Dawn, you've given us tools and you've helped us to set a goal and then to help us to establish the steps to get to that goal. And that rather than it's just something out there that maybe someday I'll have.
Yeah, it's very tempting to just let it be nebulous, because then you never have to say whether you got there or not.
That's what it felt like it was. It was like someday I'll get some clients, but there was no, how am I going to do it?
And it's a brave step to say, you know what, I am going to declare it to this group of very kind people, but it's still brave. We're actually going to see if you get there.
And yeah, and it's people to say every week, we're checking in with each other. What have you done? And so I think about it and I'm intentional now, because I know I've got this group of people who have to say something next week. So what have you done? I didn't do anything. Then it's why not?
Yeah, why not? We want to dig into the reason so we figure out how to make progress.
So I feel like we're walking together.
So good. And it is every week, which makes it a fun rhythm.
Yes, the check-in.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody else who is just like, oh, maybe someday I'll make money off of this skill that I have on the side?
I think you talked at the beginning with us about why we wanted to do this. And I think it's understanding what it's about. This can give me some freedom, can give me some flexibility, and understanding it gives me other opportunities. I can do what I want to do the way I want to do it. And I think other people can have that as well.
Oh, I love that. And every single bit of it is smashing the patriarchy, which is not exactly what you said. But
Yeah, we're all about that.
But you're having options separate as a human.
Yes.
Having options.
Okay. So who would need to reach out to you? People who are over-functioning by making sure every single person is fully taken care of, even other people who are capable of taking care of themselves.
My primary would probably be women. Not that it couldn't be men, but it would probably be women, moms, and probably people who are in ministry or ministry adjacent.
Ministry and ministry adjacent moms who are over-functioning and know there's a healthier way.
And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Jodi.
Sure.
And finally,
Jillene. Jillene, we're so glad to see you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
thank you for coming back.
Yeah, welcome.
Friend of the pod.
Jillene is a
Yes.
friend of the pod. But for those who might have missed your episode, would you mind taking a moment to introduce yourself?
My name is Jillene Gallatin, and I am the founder of Grounded Love for Grief and Loss, where I offer support for people navigating their grief with grief yoga and grief loss and end-of-life coaching.
Wow.
I love the way you said it.
Yeah, boom.
Obsessed. I'm glad we recorded it.
Good.
It was so good.
Good.
So one of the things
Good.
we've been working on is an origin story, and then how that ties into where you have ended up with your business. Because I'll just say for the listener, unless you have a bazillion-dollar marketing budget, you've got to have a compelling story. So we work a lot on it in Discern by Doing for Business. And we really wanted to spotlight all of our current people's stories. So tell me about the very early life events that led to Grounded Love for Grief and Loss.
So a number of years ago, I just had a lot going on, being in full-time ministry, married, 2 young teenagers at home. So that was the outside life. But on the inside, there was also a lot of turmoil and churning. And there were some big things going on that I didn't necessarily realize. But I was trying to process it by running a marathon. So I was running literally and figuratively. A couple weeks before the marathon, I really hurt my knee, ran the marathon, was in excruciating pain, but still just needed to move and do all the things. So somebody suggested I try yoga. I thought that was ridiculous, right? Because I'm a runner. I don't do yoga. Dear friend, continue to ask. Fine, I'll go. So I started practicing yoga. And while I was there on the mat in the stillness, concentrating on just my breath, my thoughts, my body, things really started to shift and release. And I remember I was in a particular pose called child's pose. It's where you're just really safe and warm. And I started crying, and I kept crying for the rest of class. And like I said, it was a huge shift of all that I had been holding and yet running from. And so I was really curious about what was going on, but felt like there was huge opportunities to heal and to stop running. And so continued to do my own work. Fast forward a number of years later, had the opportunity to learn how to teach yoga. And I wasn't sure if I would ever do anything with it, but I like to know how things work. So I became certified. And soon after that, came across grief yoga, which is a yoga practice. So it uses movement and breath, but it also incorporates sound. And that sound piece I like to explain in grief yoga is like moving a piece of heavy furniture. So you figure out how you're going to safely move this thing. And so it's mind, breath, and a little, and it's that helps you just shift, move forward. And for me, once I experienced it, I went, that's it. Because for me, I had been running, doing all the things. But when I had a chance to have a yoga practice that brought all of that together, I thought, I want to offer this to other people. So the grief yoga is a part of Grounded Love, but the other part of it is also coaching. In coaching, we realize people aren't broken. They're just stuck and need support to move forward. So with Grounded Love and with grief, sometimes people start with an embodiment practice and then want to talk through. And for other people, they start talking, but then say, what is all of this inside? And so then the grief yoga can support them. So that's what's important about the two components of the grief yoga and the grief coaching.
Yeah, it's such unique coaching because you can pair it with an embodied practice.
That's what helped me heal.
I'm curious to ask about how has Discern by Doing for Business been helpful to you as you've been putting together this program?
Yeah, I think what has been so fantastic about Discern by Doing for Business is that all of us currently are in ministry or ministry adjacent professions. And we're also cultivating and growing these other very life-giving passions of ours that are another avenue to creatively serve another community or part of the community. And so what's helpful is as Dawn gives us opportunities each week to work on different things in growing our business, whether it's marketing or money or knowing our own origin stories or all of these different things, I'm working with other people who totally get it. They too are in ministry and growing these vital, vibrant, amazing, necessary businesses. And so what's great about that is in my ministry, I had a big funeral. And so I needed to miss a week of class to be able to care for our congregation. But with the other people in the class, with Dawn, I feel that there are other resources to help keep me on track and still moving forward without judgment, without shame. It's like we're all figuring this out. And the other thing that I really like about Discern by Doing for Business is as we're in these small groups, being able to continue to network and support. Like, for example, with the website piece, I'm not as confident with that, but I reached out to one of my other cohort people and had a separate conversation and said, what was that like for you? What works? What didn't? And then somebody else called me to say, hey, tell me about how you've maneuvered this. So it feels so supportive. It's realistic and it's figure outable.
Amazing. I love how you brought up it matters to do it in community. And it's not just that I know everything and I could have just written a book and you'd read it. It's that you are all enriching each other.
Yeah, I love that about the group, that every time when we talk about things in a group, people in the group see things that I wouldn't see by myself. It's like they see different facets of stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
What kind of person should seek you out online? How would they know they need to do business with Grounded Love?
The person who should seek me out is somebody who is ready to move forward in their grief journey because your grief will wait for you.
The person who's been pushing that beach ball under the water line and it's exhausting.
Yes. Yeah. And so for some people, they have experienced grief before. And so they're in almost a compounded grief state. And so they recognize the benefits of working with a coach or experiencing grief yoga, being in community. with others because I also have grief groups. And so there too, just fostering a space where other people can connect. So I'm going to go through this grief experience with different tools. And then there's another person who, due to life circumstances, their grief happened 2 years ago, but they've been struggling on their own. And so now as they come forward, again, being in community, being coached with the grief yoga, all of those are different tools that have helped this individual. So anybody ready to move forward?
Yeah. The links are in the bio.
Yeah. I appreciate the origin story, and I've gotten comfortable. That's still long. That origin story is a little bit long, but I missed that lesson that week that kind of helped us with our tagline.
Yeah.
Ruth, I see yours now.
Happy meal for ministers. So
Yes. Yeah. And so what I'm circling around is your grief will wait for you. So I don't know if you don't call it a tagline.
It could be called a tagline. I'm just thinking, I know the 10 creators I'm seeing a lot, they're all saying the same thing at the beginning of nearly every reel. So they're just always reminding what's their deal.
Yeah.
But did you call it?
No, we were just looking for, I don't know that we use the word tagline, but it is a tagline. You know what? You should take up a lot of space next week. I encourage you. As we think of our social media themes, within that, we can think of what your tagline is. Because Grounded Love for Grief and Loss does not tell me the brilliance of pairing yoga with high-level coaching with a pastor. Like, it's a triad that is so powerful.
Yeah. And I don't know, or I haven't figured out yet how to get my head around encompassing that in a tagline. But the tagline, your grief will wait for you. And then as you're ready, grief yoga.
I'm just imagining the beginning of a reel. I'm Ruth. I send happy mail for ministers. Here I am packing a box. Like, I'm thinking, I loved when you were out in the church parking lot, like saying, if you walk into the group, here's the
I
door
love
to
that
use.
too.
Here's where you sign in. I want that. I want that before I
Yeah.
go somewhere. Brilliant.
I really like that. Too.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw
in
that.
that tone of voice, you wouldn't say, hi, I'm Jillene, your grief will wait for you. It is what you're doing. You would say, hi, I'm Pastor Jillene. I pair yoga with grief coaching to help you move past something.
Yeah.
Conversational.
So that will start.
But
But
every video.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Pastor Jillene, I pair yoga with grief counseling or whatever Ruth is going to think of right now. She's brilliant.
Yes, I know.
But I do think that is a really beautiful thing and a unique thing that you offer. Like, I was just thinking about that when you were talking about when you decided to get the yoga teacher training. And I've been to your classes, I've been to your grief yoga, and the welcome spirit that you bring into that space and the caring nature that you bring into that space. It's really special. It's a lot more than Jillene likes yoga. It's Jillene cares about you and she wants this yoga to help. Yeah. And I like
Yeah.
that idea, Dawn, to talk about this is what I do.
And there's a video somewhere. Maybe by the time this comes out, you will have made the video if you want. But everyone claims to be mind, body, spirit, but you really are. Like, you are highly trained in mind, body, and spirit. Who else is? Can we even think of someone in this moment? Really? Truly?
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're like, you have the terminal degree in all three of those. Like, yoga certification does not become a doctorate. You get certified, you teach yoga. A master's in theology. You have
Trained as a grief, loss, and end of life coach.
you have the certification.
Mhm.
Tapping into all three of those, that you are so comprehensive in a way all of these fly-by-night spiritual gurus are not.
Yeah.
For people who want a mainline connection,
Mhm.
because it's safer in a lot of ways to be connected to a mainline denomination. You're not just making up some version of you. That's dangerous. I don't need to preach to the choir. But
Right.
like, that's what everyone's doing when they're like getting their friend to marry them on the internet and just like saying, I've made up my own relationship with God and it will not ever challenge me. That's not what you're
Right. Yeah. And that welcome is so important to me. And because it's important, it's so natural. Like, when the idea came for that video, because I've had a couple people ask as they've come to the grief group, what door do I use? And it was cold, it was windy, and I was like, I was going to show them, but rather than just see a building, let's see a face. And so I'm grateful that now also Discern by Doing for Business is the confidence in that not everything has to be super polished, but what is foundational for me that I've really come to articulate and know through these last several weeks is my authenticity and that welcome and that clarity. Even if it's not polished, it's authentic.
Yeah.
So
And authenticity actually feeds the business. It builds trust.
yes. Yeah. And I think that also reinforces, this welcome, this care. I want you to know you are so supported in doing your work. I'm going to show you
Right.
how many stairs there are to get to the building.
Yeah, that was great.
was-
yeah.
And thank you for
Good.
posing a real question that Ruth and I could bounce off of, because this is how it feels in the groups on Monday mornings. We're like, I just did this
Yeah.
and everyone watched it and they're like, I love this part of it. And how do I do even better? What's the next idea? So that is how it feels every Monday
Yes.
morning.
Yeah. And what's funny is a couple people have asked me about the videos. And I know that when I started, I would just get an idea and I would turn on my phone and I would just record it. And there are plenty that I have not published, but I just got used to an idea. A recording. How long does it take? How do I get really clear on my message? But again, I'm not confident on the website yet. And there are other things that I have appreciated conversation with others in the group about.
So we're all working together, all boats rise together.
Yes, it's
because
great.
everyone has another very full-time job.
Yeah.
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 So good. Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you. It's so nice to see you, Jillene.
Yes. You guys too. Be well.
Just a reminder that there's still a week until Discern by Doing for Business begins. And you've been hearing all these people. Just know that when you actually experience Discern by Doing for Business, you're in a very small group. These people were in 2 groups with a couple other people, actually. The groups are like 4, 5, 6 people. You will know everyone. You will be known. You will get a lot of attention to your business. This is not some massive thing where you have to figure it out with a series of videos. So it's all about you. It's real community around your business. Have something new by 4th of July.
Yeah. Just imagine what 2026 can hold for a person if they start Discern by Doing in January. Like, it's so exciting.
That is fun. So let's do it. Go create something.
Go create something.